Right, Mike, in your preset scap style, we saw really the biggest output of numbers despite having worse efficiency. And I went back and looked at this and compared it to your other styles. And essentially, it comes down to the torque number here on the back plate. Not only are you presetting your scap in this one, but you're presetting your hip and your load. And if you go back and look at the video of your regular style, you get a little bit of counter rotation of the hips that we're not getting in your preset scap style. So essentially your hips are almost staying in neutral. You have a little bit of counter rotation preset, but watch as you walk out how the hips remain in this neutral position versus a little counter rotation or cocking action in your normal style. So essentially what this means is when you are presetting your scap, you're presetting your lower body too and just riding it out. And because we're lessening the torque factor and riding out with our hips in neutral, the hips are getting started late. So it's not that your arm is going early when you look at that graph, it's really that your hip is late. So your arm ends up turning the core versus the hip turning the core. And if we can get just a little more counter rotation into that hip as we load, the hip is going to have more spring in it. It's going to want to fire. It's going to fire on time versus kind of ride it out in neutral in a passive state and it's not ready to go. Leg numbers were better in this one as well. In this particular swing, you're only 168, but we get to a higher position in several of them, as you see on the graphs. I think you got up to 190 or 198 on one of them, which was good. Exit velocity was the highest on these. The swing itself is fine. Still need a little bit better spacing, which is something you may do in a game. I need to look at some game footage on that. That's pretty common where guys like in flip or in BP will be a little narrower when they're not in game mode. Just it's a little different level of intent, but we definitely need to get the hips preset in this one, and I think this is a style that'll work for you.